30 weeks this week, and it's crazy. 30 weeks to me is so much closer to the end than 29. It seems like I jumped a whole other trimester. And I think because I've never made it to 40 weeks and I haven't even made it to 38 before, so it's the countdown for me is on. This pregnancy will be like my others, even remotely. I have 8 weeks left, around there, and that's single digits. That's crazy. One part of me is absolutely thrilled because I can't wait to meet this baby and see what did we have or what we have. And the other part is terrified because I know how much we still have to do to prepare. Unlike first-time moms, and don't worry, I'm not judging because I was the same way with my first. After you've had a couple, you start to realize how little you actually need for the baby at first. I was the same as many, where you're like got your nursery all done, you have this huge crib with all this bedding that you end up not even using most of the time. You have all these outfits that they end up, some of them they're never even worn because they grow out of it, or your baby's a different size than what you expected them to be in that particular season. You just realize how little you need. But there are still some basic things that you must have before the baby arrives, and I still need to get some of those things set up. Plus, I need to get my house. Oh, sorry, my cat. Oh, my word. I need to get my house. I want to get it a little more organized, like that nesting phase has started to kick in, and so I need to get some things organized, some things cleaned and prepared so that it's easier when the baby comes. Now, that is going to be a lot more realistic starting tomorrow because many of you know that I take in children since I quit the hospital as a way to bring in money. And so I have two different families, two different kids. Well, one of them is here Monday to Friday, and that child is no longer with us because they need their daughter here till into the evening, like basically supper time. And there's no way I'm doing that. I'm not doing 11 hours a day kind of care. I don't want to be your child's parent. I want to be the person that steps in while you're at work and then you come and take them home and you spend quality time with them. Not just you take them home so they can sleep and I raise them. So because really that's what it is if it's Monday to Friday. It's different with shift work. Like the other family I have, they do shift work. So sometimes he's here once a week, sometimes he's here 4 times a week, and those days are long days. They're like 10, slightly over sometimes 10 hours a day. Long day, but he still spends majority of time with his family, and so that's what's important to me. Plus, it's just like, doing those long shifts 5 days a week. I'd be making more money and seeing my own kids more if I still worked at the hospital, so it defeats the purpose. Anyways, that family is now gone, and so now I only have a part-time child, which leaves me full days with just my own kids. And that is going to be glorious because I am getting tired out, and I have tons of appointments now that I'm in, bi-weekly doctor appointments and monthly ultrasounds. And then plus the nesting and the shopping for things like this will make it a lot easier to get that stuff done. And then when the baby's born, I'll actually have days where it's just Benix and I home during the day because Zayden's at school. And, if I need to get some extra rest done and whatnot, that is going to be possible. So I'm just thrilled. This past week was like the longest week I've ever had. My part-time child was here 4 days. So the shortest working day I had was 10 hours. And the other family that needed me for the long day was here from like 6:45 to 6 p.m. So 6:45 a.m. to 6 p.m. Too long. I was just burnt out. Yesterday my plan was to clean the house. Nah, I slept in. My husband and I do it like he sleeps in Fridays, I sleep in Saturdays. I slept until like 9:30. I got up. I took the kids out for a bit just because they were just going crazy, and I knew my husband was leaving to go back to work that night. Came home with them. laid on the couch for like, I think 3 hours. It was one of those days, like, I just could not get up. And then today, I was pretty much the same in the morning. Like, it's the afternoon now, but in the morning, I was just like, oh, and you get up and have a shower, and then you go lay back down in bed again. And for me in my pregnancies, that's relatively normal. With Phoenix, well, with Zayden, I came home after work and had like a 3 hour nap every night, was up for 2 hours, and went to bed. I am just like, someone has given me a sleeping pill when I'm pregnant. And you know, the first and third trimester. That's how I am. With Menix, it was the same thing. I would come home from work and pour Zayden. I would put a movie on for him, and I would sleep for a couple hours, feed him, spend some time with him, and then I would go to bed at 7:30 right after I put him to bed. This pregnancy is going no different, except for the fact now I have 2 kids to care for. You can't just have those naps like you want to, plus I'm working. So I think it's just all caught up to me, and I'm just wiped. The good news is after I have my babies, I feel normal again, and I am just like so energetic that even the sleep deprivation phase at first doesn't hit me. It does in about a month, but not at first. I'm just like, oh, I feel fantastic. So I'm so thrilled that life's slowing down. I'm going to get my house in order. I'm going to clean it and rest, and it's so needed. Speaking of sleeping, so last week I told you how my belly is growing out so much that it hurts when I roll over in bed. So I now put 2 pillows beside me, and so when I roll over each direction, it will support the belly, and that has made a world of difference. I'm not in the amount of pain that I used to be, so I'm thankful for that. The baby is definitely getting bigger because I'm not having those rolls and those turnarounds that I used to feel. Last night I started getting concerned that maybe the baby flipped, because I used to have on the left, lower left, little jabs, and then in my rib cage was on the right, which was be like a foot sticking up. Well, it was more of the mid left and more of like what I think are kicks. So I'm hoping the baby is still in a good delivery position, because I really don't want to breech baby, because I really don't want a cesarean. I have a doctor's appointment on Tuesday, so I'm going to find out the positioning of the baby. I am craving sugar so badly, which is horrible right now, because if I'm going through that, I just need to lay on the couch and have more rest phase. The last thing I need to do is eat sugar, because it's just going to put on fat onto my body that's not needed. I no longer want salty or savory like I used to for like the whole other part of my pregnancy. Oh, sugar, cookie dough, ice cream, milkshakes, chocolate, like Cadbury cream eggs are a weakness of mine. And I love it all. So I'm really having to keep things out of the house, or I have no self-control with it whatsoever. My belly is growing now to the degree where you can see more of the veins and the lines in it. So I finally hit that. My skin is getting translucent phase, so that's interesting to see it all like that. But it definitely is growing and getting bigger. Now when I sit cross-legged, like I would sit on the floor cross-legged and I would read books to the kids like that. Well, I can barely breathe now when I do that. I need to be tilted back a bit or over to the side, or I'm just like, like I can't get my breath. It's just my lungs just too squished now. Okay, I'll show you the belly. There's my 30-week belly, definitely getting a lot rounder and sticking out a lot more. No lowering, but out. I don't think you're going to be able to see the little red veins and arteries. Definitely had a little bit of a growth spurt last week. That's it for this week. I will talk to you next week.